Tonight, Marvel breaks our heart. There is a Vigilante in the DCEU. And we go all in with the Spine Ticks on Comic Book Canon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Friday the 13th. I hope you are safe. I hope you are sound. I hope you are ready for a fun show. Lots to talk about, lots of guests, all good things that we are very excited about. And we really appreciate you being here on a Friday night, just talking about the hobby that we all truly love. You know who else I love? I love my co-host, Chris. Chris, how are you doing?
What's up? What's going
How
on,
are
Jeff?
you?
Oh, man, it's great. I love Friday the 13th. You want to know why?
Why?
I was born on Friday the 13th. Yeah, so for all those, scared or saying it's cursed, man, it's a blessing. I'll tell you, it is.
All right, I'll agree with that because we love to be able to share you in the world, and you didn't bring any badness with Friday the 13th. You didn't usher in the badness. Anyways, so again, we hope you're all healthy, safe, and sound, and having a good day. And hopefully, this will make your day even better. This comic book canon show we do each and every week. But first, Chris, there's a reminder you got to throw out to everybody.
Yeah, we got my 3K subscriber contest for Journals, Comics, and Pop Culture, guys. As you know, to enter this contest, it consists of my channel and the Comic Book Canon channel. As of before the show, we were like 16 subscribers away. We most likely will be announcing the winner next Friday. So we're going to be announcing the grand prize winner on my Friday Night Live before Comic Book Canon, and we'll be announcing the second place prize winner on our Comic Book Canon live stream show next Friday night. So I just want to make sure for those that think they entered and for those that haven't entered yet, for one, you have until next Thursday to enter still. But even for those that think they entered, I want to make sure that you've done the 4 things, which is subscribe to Journos Comics, find my contest video on my channel, subscribe to Comic Book Canon right here, and find our contest video here on this channel, and make sure you comment on both of those videos. And that's it, guys. And any questions, you can always reach out to Jeff or I via email, Instagram, whatever it may be. But yep, we got one more week left, guys.
One more week. And if I was a smart, responsible human being, I would have put all that information in the description below, but it will be here after we wrap the show tonight. I promise you that. Again, super simple. Some great prizes, and why not just enter? Have fun. Anyways, all right, moving on. Speaking of fun, tonight we're going to get into the news as we always do. As I mentioned earlier, we have very special guests. We have Chris and Steve with the Spine Ticks going all in, giving us their comic books that they are all in on. Very excited about that. We have another Cosmic Minute as we do each week, and this is going to dive into the Hobgoblin and the Spider-Man animated series from the 90s. And we have Cover Price's top 10 hottest comics of the week, as we do each and every week, and it's a different list and some similar yet new comic books we'll be talking about as well, and the Q&A. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share. Spread it out there because we love what we do. We love talking to people. We have a lot of fun on this show. All right, Chris. Now, this may not sound like a lot of fun right here, but we have some news that we have to discuss. It's going to be all near and dear to our hearts, and it's a little disappointing. Chris, have at it.
All right, guys, brace yourselves, because we thought that we were getting some Marvel Studios MCU action for 2020, but guess what? 2020 is now officially going to be Marvel-less. Yes, not Marvelous, Marvel-less. No Marvel MCU for 2020. WandaVision has been officially pushed back to a January 15 release. So while we thought it was going to start on Christmas Day this year, new promo release confirming the mid-January 2021 release. Jeff, you want to go ahead and roll the promo?
Let's roll the promo.
Well, there it is, guys. We got to wait a few more weeks. Look, I mean, it's not it's not a huge big pushback, but again, I mean, just I was really excited to waking up on Christmas morning and watching that first episode. You know, I was like, what a out of everything that's happened in 2020, it was like, what a great Christmas this is going to be. But now it's like first world problems. Marvel list for 2020. Jeff, how you feeling?
I'm not feeling good, honestly, because like if you think about it, you do the math, it's about 2 months away, right? A little bit over 2 months away. I know. So I that's another gut punch. And the fact that we're not going to have any Marvel MCU content in the year 2020, it just is like, because we thought we'd have this, right? Yep. Then we do have The Mandalorian. By the way, no spoilers on The Mandalorian. Chris and I have not seen that episode yet, so let's just keep that to ourselves for the rest of this episode. But, you have The Mandalorian, which is an MCU, and we are starving for some MCU content. Starving for it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, again, we got to wait a little while longer. Now, the one thing we don't know, it's getting pushed back. We still don't know if this is going to be a week-to-week release, like we've seen with Mandalorian's first 2 seasons. Honestly, personally, I would love to have them all thrown at us, but, hey, I'm not going to complain either way. Now, we do have some awesome images released by Entertainment Weekly this week of what it was looking like on set, and a little more detail into the filming in the production style of this show. We've talked about before, this was filmed in front of a live audience. It makes me question how much of it was filmed in front of a live audience, though. I'm going to assume it's not the whole thing, but at least the parts where we're getting that sitcom feel. We know they're transitioning through the decades of the 20th century sitcom vibe. And that's really going to be a big part of the heart of this show. And obviously we don't know details, or all these different episodes and eras of shows, all in her head. Is it reality? And then we got to look at Wanda being pregnant. So again, what does this mean? Is it real? Is it reality? Is it in her head? Are we gonna see some first appearance books skyrocket on the market because of this?
I think so, but there's some interesting things to take from this. Yes, there was a live studio audience, but I think this is going to be an interesting mix of studio audience being the sitcom world that people are thinking that Wanda creates to protect herself from the hurt and pain that she has with losing vision. But there's also going to, as you can see from the trailer, there's also going to be kind of the real world aspect to it. Like, for example, where Vision touches, I'm not sure, I'm just Agatha. Potentially her name is Agatha, the witch. She touches her, outside the car. That's done. That's, so it's going to be very interesting. But yes, there is talk that this will usher in Wanda and Vision's kids, who are Speed and Wiccan, who are becoming more and more prominent, especially in the past, I would say 8 years or so, with the release of Young Avengers. And I would jump on their first appearance books right now, because there's a few reasons why Young Avengers is just going to blow up. First of all, Kate Bishop is going to be in the new Hawkeye series. That is confirmed. This is her first appearance in Young Avengers #1. But you also have the first appearance of Wiccan in Young Avengers #1 and Speed in Young Avengers #10. Young Avengers #1 is going for $68 raw based on cover prices data, and $260 at a 9.8. Young Avengers 10 is going for $27 raw and $78 for a 9.8. So I would jump on these now, because they're not going to get any cheaper, especially knowing that Kate Bishop, the next Hawkeye, will be the lead in a series.
Right. Yeah, I agree with #1. With #10, if this pregnancy doesn't pan out to these children growing up and becoming role players in the MCU, at least at this point, I don't think, you're not going to lose out. This is one of those situations where if you're willing to put down a good, few dollars, hey, take that chance. There's not a lot of risk involved right now, to where, to Jeff's point, I mean, if we watch this show and there's any hint that these characters will be coming, that's when it's going to take off. But yeah, good point. I mean, look, Young Avengers #1, these films and these shows and the MCU is keeping these new characters relevant. It's now creating this pathway for them. And hey, younger readers, the younger generation, they're going to be pulled into these books and these characters and their storylines.
Yep, absolutely. it is disappointing. And Lady Sith Lordly, who is the wife of Sith Lordly, who is our guest coming up in about 10 minutes or so, she was looking forward to the show, as were we. And now we have to wait another 2 months. Sucks. It absolutely sucks. But Sparks Comics brings up a very, very good point. And I got to go. You guys are killing these comments, man. Sparks Comics said that 2021 is going to be a huge year. You are absolutely right. Here it is. 2021 is going to be a big Marvel year. There's so much in the can, guys. So much in the can from Marvel. It's just ready to go. You got Black Widow. You've got Falcon Winter Soldier. You got Eternals. It's going to be huge next year. So
Spider-Man.
This is what we've been saying, guys. Just let's get through this horrible time of COVID and get into some sort of normalcy returning to us. We're going to see these things, and it's just going to be nonstop for us. And wow. Anyways, I can't wait for that day. Absolutely. All right. So moving on, though, we have some more interesting news here on the content front. Vigilante was cast in the Peacemaker series that's going to be starring John Cena with James Gunn producing and directing. Now, a lot of you people from the 80s, that's Chris and I totally remember this character. I didn't collect him. I didn't, but he was always there. He was always around. So this is quite interesting. He's going to be played by an actor by the name of Chris Conrad. Chris Conrad is going to play Adrian Chase, aka the Vigilante. I looked at his IMDb profile. I don't recognize many projects, but James Gunn has never let us down, so in James Gunn we trust. I guarantee you there's going to be some sort of humorous twist to this whole series because Peacemaker takes himself way too seriously. But it's also interesting, too, that Peacemaker and Vigilante have a history together, as you can see from Vigilante number 36. That's a pretty sweet cover right there. Don't know how Vigilante survived falling from an aircraft while getting shot at the same time. But I am intrigued. Call me intrigued, Chris. And this isn't going to be the first time we have seen Vigilante on the small screen. Arrow introduced us to a Vigilante character. He wasn't the Adrian Chase character. I stopped watching Arrow before this character came about, and this really doesn't sell me on this character. I really hope they do much better in Peacemaker, Chris.
Yeah, Arrow, man, such a great season the first couple of seasons, and then it just turned into a soap opera to me, and everything was just like repetitive and whatnot. I trust James Gunn and whatever he's doing with this project. So hey, I'm not like you. I haven't heard of this actor, but I see the possibility of them playing, and that's the thing. I think since we're comparing it to the Arrowverse right now.
Yeah.
Everything can't be so dark necessarily, or just one type of superhero genre where you bring James Gunn that can take certain characters that you don't have to take so seriously, and you mash them up and you create something that actually works.
It will be fun.
It's going to be that.
Comics and Pops, # Team Nerd Herd. Thank you all for joining us from Team Nerd Herd. Looking forward to this Peacemaker series, as are we. I love James Gunn. I actually like John Cena. I think he's hilarious in most everything he does. And Ben Frank wasn't Vigilante the lawyer person that helped out the Teen Titans? Vigilante first appeared in Teen Titans Annual number 2, so it's possible. I haven't read that, but I do know that is the first appearance of Vigilante. So it's going to be very interesting to see. To see what comes about with Vigilante, Chris.
Absolutely.
But moving on, we have some exciting news from a series that I think we all love.
Yes, we are getting more Umbrella Academy. Netflix has announced that the series is renewed for a season 3. Awesome little promotion work right here with the umbrella on the top of the 3. Look, this is just this show. I mean, it's been in Netflix top 10 streaming for the first 2 seasons. It's in high demand. Why not? I know Netflix has canceled some shows before, and you're like, well, what are they doing outside of the Marvel issue, that is? But look, I want to keep seeing more and more from the show. Production will begin in February in Toronto. This is a show for me that's it's definitely a unique vibe for a comic book superhero type movie. And Jeff, you and I were talking earlier about how, for me, I feel that after each season so far, It's not that you're just being left at a cliffhanger and like, oh, I can't wait. It's like, for me, there's so many layers of this cohesive smoothness, episode to episode, season to season, that really makes you want more, that I feel is very unique to the show. It's kind of hard to explain, but there's just this flow of building these characters up, and building this world up to where it's like, we're 2 seasons in, and yet I still feel like, I haven't been bored for 2. I'm not saying it hasn't gone anywhere, because I've been entertained with every episode, but I feel like it's been the smooth transaction that's got so many miles of things to explore still, if that even makes sense.
Yeah, I love the way they set these things up, and like I would be extremely disappointed if they just said that's a wrap after season 2,
Right.
because the way they left things, and it's not so much a cliffhanger, kind of like you mentioned earlier, but like it is in a way, because I don't want to spoil things for people who haven't seen it, but they definitely leave it in a situation where like, what the hell? Wow. Okay. How are they going to get out of this one? Kind of a situation. So I'm psyched. I love this show. It's got a very unique tone in terms of a comic book genre, television show. It really definitely hit a nerve, and it's its own unique thing, right? It's got its own flavor. Yeah. You see a lot of comic book shows that become, like, I'm going to say it, like a lot of the CW shows, same thing. I stopped watching them. I can't do it. But this, like they knew what they wanted to be, and they ran with it, and I think they've done a fantastic job.
Yeah, good point. And I think what you're touching on there, it's like it's hard to keep fresh. And I look at even The Boys in season 2, which I enjoyed season 2, but it's like I'm already at a point, okay, where is this going? That's kind of what's in my head. Where with Umbrella Academy, I'm like, let's keep going. Like, okay, like, it's a complete and I know those shows are really different, and I'm not saying that they should be similar, but I'm just saying the vibe that it puts within me in what they're doing, it's this constant flow, and I want to keep riding that train.
Yeah, absolutely. Super excited. I do believe they start early next year. I think you mentioned that. Again, hopefully we'll get it by the end of 2021.
Yeah.
As Sparks Comics said, it's gonna be a slew, not only MCU content, but DC. You got this independent stuff too. It's gonna be super, super exciting. Speaking of super exciting, as we mentioned before, we are all thirsting for some MCU news. We're not getting as much as we'd like, but every little bit that leaks out kind of edges us along to a happier place. So we mentioned last week that there was, we had some promo art from the Eternals last week. So we have more promo art this week, and this is looking, actually, it's looking a lot. It's more comprehensive than what we saw. So basically, we get this from BR Marvel News. I do believe they are a Brazilian site, based, just talking about Marvel. And they found some promo art here. I'll take the banner down so we can all see it. It's looking nice. And Chris, this is an absolutely a nice find. We're gonna start seeing more of these leaks. Let's get a closer look at this. You see everybody here: Kingo, Sprite, Gilgamesh, Athena, Cersei, Icarus, Phastos, Makari, Druig, and Ajak. Those costume designs, it may look a little abstract in the art there, but they're looking nice. Like I'm getting a feel and a vibe for what this is going to be, and we need more of this. So Marvel's going to be, they're in a situation where you have toys that were supposed to come out, you have promo art that was supposed to come out, you had books and comic books and all sorts of things that are coming out or supposed to come out at this time because it was supposed to be released last week. We're going to start seeing these things kind of leak out. So Marvel's got a challenge ahead of itself on how they're going to kind of be able to share certain things without spoiling it for us.
Right. Yeah, and I'm with you on this. This is a much clearer look to me to catch that vibe than what we saw last week. Can't really put a finger on why. I just think it's more vibrant in there. The colors are bright, and I think you can really see more of what's going on with each individual. And I'm digging it, man. Oh, God, it's so hard to not sit here and think that we should have been in the theaters last week watching this movie.
Yeah, I know. But again, it's the reality of things. Let's just try and get through this time together. Together. Am I right? Together, people? Yes. All right, that's our news for this week because we have a very special guest. We may have two special guests, but for right now, we have one special guest. What we do once a month, we have a segment called All In, where we bring a member of the community on to discuss 3 comic books that they are all in on. That is a Silver Age, a Silver Age, a Bronze, and a Modern, right? All in. What you're all in. You could be specking on this. You could be like, these are my holy grails. Whatever it is, you are all in on these books. You are psyched about these books. You want these books. You'll do anything to either get them in your collection or you have them in your collection. And you can't stop showing them all. So this week, we are very, very, very honored to have the guys from Spinetix. We got Sith Lordly and Azor's Tiger here today. And it's amazing because Seth has been here and Chris literally just jumped on. How's it going, guys?
What's up? What's up?
Eric, you just made it, bro.
Man.
Y'all didn't see the backstage, but Eric's literally like.
Exactly. Yeah. Yo, fellas, thanks so much for having us. Not only am I entertained back here, but I'm informed, man. The news was great.
We try to do a little something here. But
that was great.
You guys all need to be following Spinetix. Their link is below because they put on weekly shows and they are entertaining and informative as well. So don't sell yourself short, guys, okay?
Appreciate it. And shout out to the chat. I see a lot of our homies in there and, of course, Lady Sith Lordly. So we appreciate y'all coming out to support.
We appreciate it, too. Really, really appreciate it. That's what makes this show fun, guys, talking about the things that we love. And speaking about the things that we love, we're going to do an all-in here. And normally we have one person. This is the first time we're going to have 2 guests on. So we're going to go one at a time with you guys. And we're going to bring you guys up to be able to show your goods, basically. So let's start off with the Silver Age books. Chris, we're going to start off with you. You do not have it in hand, but let's have you discuss. Tell us what you're all in on for your Silver Age.
Oh, okay. Eric, by the way, just my Silver Age.
My bad.
No worries. My Silver Age is actually X-Men 1. So we don't have that one just yet. That's actually one I'm working on right now. So that's my what I call it is building the pot. So that way I can get something much greater. So path to a key. So that's what I've been working on. Just selling little books here and there, trying to get the moderns that people want, get them slabbed and everything, and get them ready for sale, and start building the pot more and more and more. So then that's what I'm working towards, X-Men #1. So we're looking at next year on that.
That's a good one to have, man. That is one to go all in on, because that is not only is that going to be it's a sought after comic book, it's going to be even more sought after once they make their way to the MCU.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And that's super exciting. And you definitely need to let us all know how close you are to getting that.
Oh yeah. We will.
All right.
We will.
Yeah.
Next up,
I say too, this is a book that, you would think, being such a Silver Age blue chip, I mean, what else can propel this book? But I don't think people really understand the weight of seeing the X-Men in the MCU and what it can do with a book that's already worth so much.
Yep.
It's going to be crazy.
It's going to put it out of a lot of people's reach. So that's why I almost had it this year. But instead I landed with my 181 right here.
Well,
so
jeez.
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah.
You're not losing sleep.
I had to transition and put that on the next thing on the block. So
you poor soul. All right, we're gonna move. Gosh, we're gonna move on to Sith Lordly here, and he's gonna tell us what his Silver Age all-in is.
Well, I wanted to grab something from the collection, right? So it was very personal, and I recently acquired this X-Men 4, and I always wanted this book for this cover. Not to mention all the first appearances it's got. So what I did, I'm a hustler like Eric. I benefited from the stock market and all the oil stocks recently, and I took some money off the table, and I took that and I translated that into this book. And this is a book that Lady Sith and I would go to WonderCon, and I'd see it at the tables. I'd be like, not this year, but this year was my year. Right. So it was between this and FF48 in my collection, but just look at that cover. It's amazing. So awesome. Happy to have it.
We need to bring it up again. Let's see that.
Here we go.
Gosh, you guys, I feel so sorry for you guys. I really do. That is terrible. Chris,
I love the X-Men stuff here, man. I really do.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, for me, I've been going after anything Galactus and Silver Surfer really lately because of that. But I mean, if you didn't already look at X-Men books like this, like a year or 2 or 3 years ago, like I really feel that this is time because you know it's gonna get crazy here in the next year or two.
Yeah,
absolutely, 100%. Again, I'm just you got. I'm gonna be honest here. You guys are starting out with a bang. I know, Eric, you don't have X-Men 1 yet. You don't have it yet.
He'll get it.
You're like, oh, I just got this.
we'll have a show about it.
Yeah. So here we go, Eric. This is going to be your modern book or bronze. So let's what do you got?
Let's see. So bronze. Which one do you all want? Bronze or modern?
Let's go bronze first. Sorry.
Okay. So bronze. Actually did pull one from the collection. So giant size X-Men #1. This one was actually, I lucked up with this one. Found a great deal on eBay. And it was like one of my big purchases from eBay. I actually found it at a 3.5. And as I got it immediately, I went, sent it to my guy, got it clean pressed, and then reslabbed. And then I actually was able to catch my guy in time, and Chris Claremont was still at CGC doing autographs. So he sent everything for me to get the autograph, and I got the grade bump to a 4.0 on that one.
Nice.
So yeah, we hustle over here, man.
Listen, we should have added up the total values here, like after. We may be able to do that later.
I was about to pull some stuff up on my phone. Like,
seriously, this is going to be the most expensive all-in we've ever seen. All right, next up, what do you got, Sith? What do you got, Sith Lorley? What do you got for your bronze or your modern?
All right. Well, for my bronze, it was a tie with what Eric just showed, but I had to be showing this Hulk 181, which I picked up at WonderCon recently. I've had this book maybe 6 times. And I got to tell you, just to move things along, but the previous version of this book that I had, I bought it raw. And I bought it off eBay from a local seller so I could pick it up. Cleaned and pressed it, sent it in, came back restored, married cover. Someone had put a same era cover on it. So, you know, purple label and everything. I couldn't live with that. So this is my replacement issue. In fact, you know, TiVo Lords of the Long Box, he and I negotiated this deal from Reese's Rare Comics at WonderCon, and I came home with this book. So happy to have this book.
Again, that's a good story. I like that. I'm glad that the blue came home.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
Send the purple packing.
Yeah, Steve, again, I feel so bad for you. I'm going to keep saying it.
We're just going to roll around on the books after.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Eric, what do you got for your modern book that you are all in on?
All right, so my modern is all in New Mutants 98, first appearance of Deadpool. This actually goes back to my childhood, man. This was one of my original favorite books, characters. So I knew Deadpool when he was just a straight up assassin before, you know, we got all the comedy and everything we have now. But I mean, I used to draw the characters. I used to read the book. So this isn't my original copy from my childhood PC, but I actually did have it. And when I got back into the game, I sent it to get clean pressed and slabbed, and it came back at a 6.0. So, you know, I couldn't be mad. You know, it was love. It was one of my favorite books. So then I was able to come across this one, 9.4. And I'm still working towards my 9.8 to have for the PC. But this is where we're at right now. And I'm actually considering cracking this one and getting it clean, press, and reslash. So I had to keep y'all up to date and let you know how it all turns out.
Definitely. Sparks Comet says you are bringing the heat. You guys are both bringing the heat. Absolutely both bringing the heat. All right, Steve.
Well, let's finish the heat, right? My modern. Right. I mean, my name is Sith Lordley, so you know I got to come with the Star Wars book. So this is a recent acquisition, this 9.8. But I'm Mr. Star Wars, and you know I just had to get this one because I also got this one, right? And so this was like my PC personal copy that I bought back in the day. I've got just about every single Star Wars issue from Dark Horse and the previous Marvel, but you know, I just wanted to be sure and just have them both. You know what I mean? So I'm all in on this book. Ahsoka Tano. We don't have to say anymore, man. She's going to be huge. Yep. She's already huge. So I
got a question for you. I can't see the barcodes. Are those direct or newsstands?
They're not newsstand. So yeah, they're direct. Yeah, direct. Okay. Would be nice, but you know.
9.8. Yeah. I got my bad boy right here.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, look at that. We're having a Ahsoka Tano party.
There we go.
Yeah, this is a newsstand.
Damn.
And it's got a couple of spine ticks right here, but other than that, it's pretty clean. The very interesting thing is that this book in general, for those that don't know, is already rare and has a low print run. I mean, it's hard to find the directs in high grade anywhere in the market, you know, and we know those 9.8s have been hitting, you know, well over $1,000.
I know,
but the newsstand, what's really interesting about the newsstand is it wasn't mass distributed. It was mostly marketed to like your Borders and Barnes and Nobles. So where they would sit on like the magazine shelves and get read through and whatnot.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the high grades in those, I've been thinking about possibly selling this. I think this is definitely at least a very fine near mint.
Nice.
And I saw like a 4.0, maybe 4.5 at best, sell for almost $800 a couple weeks back.
Wow. Newsstand.
So I'm like, I don't even know, because there's no really high grades to base what the fair market value would be. It's crazy.
Wait till she pops in, man. That thing is gonna, you know, go up even more.
It's gonna shoot through the roof.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no doubt. And she's gonna be. I mean, people are gonna love her. Like even people who don't in the mainstream that are not familiar with the, you know, the animated series or what have you.
Yeah.
She is just gonna, especially with Rosario Dawson playing her, right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna waste Rosario Dawson for one episode. I mean, she's gonna be in, whether it be The Mandalorian or other spin-offs. It's super exciting. That book is going to be insane. What do you got, Eric?
That's as close as I can get to it right now.
Yeah, exactly.
He's working towards it, a path to a key.
I just want to.
Oh no! Now we got the pop off.
I just want to show you. I'm kind of in your guys' club. I have a New Mutants 9.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
9.8. Granted, the CBC has, but I feel okay now, guys.
Still good. Hey, fellas, how was that for Spine Ticks All In?
Yeah, we absolutely. Beautiful. Listen, you guys absolutely crushed. This is the best all-in we've ever done.
Hey,
Eric and Steve,
appreciate it.
Crush this. You guys can start your own freaking. I mean, you can sell those and start your own law firm. I don't know why.
Yeah, there you go. Lord Lee and Tiger.
Pay for your law school. It paid for your law school. So, anyways, thank you so much for joining us for All In.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to say once again too. I really love the X-Men theme outside of even Deadpool. Nice. You know, I really love the focus. I recently, I mean, I'm nowhere near. I don't have a Hulk 181 giant size or a 1 or a 4, but I've been picking up some. Like I got the first appearance of Polaris and first appearance of Havoc. No, Banshee recently. Yeah. So I'm, you know, for those watching, man, I mean, now is the time. If you know, even those smaller X-Men keys, you know, if you got some money to invest, even if they're more mid-grade books, you don't got to always search for the high grades, especially the Silver Age, man.
And both of those
no grade.
Both of those covers are sick, by the way. You know, that Steranko cover for Polaris.
Yep.
And then that Banshee cover with the red in the background, you know, it just pops. Yeah,
those are the ones you're going to want to, the kind of the secondary characters. You're going to want to start searching for those because you know Feige's going to want his put his own handprint on, not maybe his, but MCU's own handprint on the X-Men. They're not going to want to bring in the same exact kind of characters back, or you know, at the get-go, right? They're going to slowly. It's going to be a slow build as they always do.
Yeah.
So Sunfire characters we haven't seen on the screen is the way to go. Absolutely. All right, that has been our all in. We really appreciate Eric and Steve for joining us from Spine Ticks. Follow Spine Ticks down below, right? Their channel is down below. You guys have to watch them. You have to follow them. Also follow them on Instagram. You guys are throwing crazy heat on your. I mean, your Star Wars books are out of this world. So
I try, man. I try.
It's entertaining in itself. But we'd love to have you guys stick around for the rest of the show if you're up for it.
Yeah, we're down, man. Let's do it.
Fantastic, because we have a fun segment we do each and every week. Tom Tormey, his birthday is today, everybody. Tom Tormey.
All right.
Happy birthday.
His birthday today. I'm not sure if he's in the chat. He's out to dinner with his family, but each and every week he gives us a juicy nugget of comic book related history, and he never disappoints. This week is no exception either. If you guys are a fan of the Spider-Man animated series, you are absolutely going to be interested in this to find out why the Hobgoblin became a major villain over the Green Goblin. Check it out.
Nice.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tom from Cosmic Comic History, and this is your Cosmic Minute. And if you're a fan of early 90s animated superhero shows like Batman and X-Men, you are in for a treat. Because today we're talking about how Hobgoblin got himself upgraded to A-villain status in the Spider-Man animated series. The Hobgoblin, created by Roger Stern and John Romita Jr., made his debut in 1983's Amazing Spider-Man issue 238. The identity of Hobgoblin was assumed by several different Marvel characters, including a brainwashed Ned Leeds. Beginning in 1994 and running for 5 seasons totaling 65 episodes, Spider-Man the Animated Series was a runaway hit from Marvel and Fox Kids programming. Legendary actor Frank Gershon auditioned for the role of Hobgoblin, but the voiceover work went to sci-fi and voiceover god Mark Hamill. Spider-Man the Animated Series writer John Semper wasn't interested in using Hobgoblin. He even petitioned then-president of Marvel Animation, Avi Arad, to use Green Goblin, but he was overruled. Why? Because Toy Biz had Hobgoblin action figures heavy into production. If Hobgoblin wasn't used on the show, his toys would have rotted on the shelves. And that is why Hobgoblin became a major villain on the Spider-Man animated series. I'm still Tom from Cosmic Comic History, and that was your Cosmic Minute. Until next week, be well and stay safe.
Happy birthday, Tom Tormey. That's awesome. Fascinating, guys.
Yeah.
As you can see, toys kind of drive the decision in the narrative of all of this content, and it still happens to this day. Mm-hmm. However, I didn't realize, I had no idea about that. I don't know. Do you guys prefer Hobgoblin over Green Goblin?
Man, I love both actually, and I got some key books. I'm working towards the first Green Goblin, but I got the rest, and I got Hobgoblin. Great villains, man. That was inspiring to watch. I'm taking notes. That's a great segment that you guys just ran. We got to be doing something like that.
Every week, it's Tom Tormey, man. That guy knows his history. Yep. You guys have to follow at Cosmic Comic History on Instagram. Every day he drops a good, just an amazing, juicy nugget of comic book history. 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, East Coast time. It's literally the first thing I look for when I open up Instagram in the morning. You will not be disappointed. But again, going back to this, Chris and I talked about this a few weeks ago about Hobgoblin. Right. And Chris and I, we're kids of the 80s, and we would that was the main villain at that time. And that's who we were exposed to more than the Green Goblin. So I'm not mad. I didn't even realize it. I didn't think twice about seeing the Hobgoblin, a majority of the time, not a majority of the time, but as one of the main villains in this animated series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At that time, remember, Norman was dead. Dead. Comic book dead.
Harry dies forever.
Right. Harry took over the mantle for a minute, and then he got better, right? So we didn't really have a Green Goblin, on the shelves, week to week. And Hobgoblin was the guy, man. And I even remember, when McFarlane's series came out in 90, and his rendition of bringing the Hobgoblin into some of those early issues, and, looking at how McFarlane was, doing his panels and having everything come off the pages. Mm-hmm. And Hobgoblin he did Hobgoblin so well in there. And that just added for me my love for Hobgoblin. So I don't think I really appreciated Green Goblin until seeing him, in Sam Raimi's movies, and then going back, looking at the early books. And then that's when I went back and started reading all the early Spider-Man books and whatnot. So
nice. I actually like the new Monster Green Goblin that they had on what was that, Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, he was it's crazy. All these iterations of the goblins that they have now, the Red Goblin, all of these iterations, like it's pretty cool where it came from, but it's also, again, it's really interesting to go back and to think that the toy, they were like, we already produced the Hobgoblin toy. We don't have any Green Goblin toys. Sorry, you're going to have to go with the Hobgoblin. Like, imagine having that conversation with the producer so it's just like you're stuck with this. But it worked out because that is a classic animated series by far. I love that series. Absolutely love that series.
That 80s Hobgoblin with Spider-Man, I mean, that was right there for me because, I might be a little bit older than you guys, and I grew up around that time. And then I, sold off my collection for dating money, right? Got to take the girls out, so no more comic books. So I missed out on a lot of the stuff in the 90s. But, like Chris said, man, then you get inspired, you go back, you get those Silver Age Green Goblins, and, that's what I'm appreciating right now, are those old Spideys.
But you're right. Like when we were collecting back in the day, it was like, who is the Hobgoblin? They didn't reveal who the Hobgoblin was for such a long time.
Yeah.
He was introduced. So that's why he was always intriguing to us because, again, the Green Goblin was in the background at that point. So that character had more of an impact on us than the Green Goblin did. Even though if we look back on the whole history of Spider-Man, the Green Goblin has more lore, is more implanted in and ingrained in Spider-Man history. So, but for us, it's just what we're exposed to. So anyways, that's how it worked out. But again, great job, Tom Tormey. We really appreciate it. We do Cosmic Minute each and every week. Next week will be another gem, and I can't wait to see what he does. But moving on, one of our favorite segments of the week, and many of you audience members as well, it is the top 10 hottest comic books of the week based off of Cover Price's data. What we do here is this comes out on a Monday. We're a live show on Friday. We like to talk. We breeze through the top 10, but Chris here takes the top 3 most interesting comic books from this top 10 list and dissects it a little bit. So let's see what we got on the list first, and then Chris is just going to dive in, and then Eric and Steve are going to let us know what they think as well. And
all right,
you guys can comment on the whole list if you'd like. Here we go.
Do it.
Top 10 hottest comic books of the week. We got at number 10, Batgirl number 50, the first appearance of the new Batwoman, who will be in the CW show. At number 9, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures number 1. This is the second week in a row. It is on the top 10 list. At number 8, we have Batman 102, the 1 in 25 variant, the Jorge Jimenez Ghostmaker variant. At number 7, Moon Knight number 1, his first ongoing series. At number 6, we have the Department of Truth number 1. This is an interesting issue. A lot of rumors here about there's some high bidders bidding for this story. At number 5, we have Captain Marvel number 23. A lot of first appearances in here, including Namor's son and Thor's daughter. At number 4, Star Wars Adventures Shadow of Vader's Castle number 1, the Francavilla black and white variant. Number 3 is Crossover number 1, that secret variant. A lot of people didn't notice what the character on the front page is reading. Secret variant. At number 2 is Captain Marvel number 23, the Russell Dauterman variant. And at number 1, we have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin number 1. I regret flipping that. I should have kept that issue. But Chris, we have an interesting top 10 list this week. And you're going to dissect it. You're going to let us know. First off, Eric and Steve, do you find anything interesting about this top 10 list? Anything that sticks out to you guys before Chris just gets into it?
Well, I own 5 of those books.
Okay.
And I mean, Moon Knight, of course, man. I've had that whole series, I don't know, 3-4 times. And I'm just glad I acquired it again, in the last year. But I love those Bronze Age books. I am reading some of the other. I'm a big Turtles guy, although I haven't read The Last Ronin yet. So I'm sitting on it, just haven't had the time. Department of the Truth, number 1 was mind-blowing in my opinion.
Yes.
Number 2, I was like, so we'll see. We'll be seeing.
I haven't read number 2, but number 1 was like, okay, this is an interesting direction.
That caught my attention.
Don't want to spoil it for people. Eric, how are you feeling about this list?
I'm enjoying the list. I actually had also 5 out of the 10.
Get out of here.
I didn't have the Moon Knight though, so that's Steve right there. But I actually just got this one in yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Look at that.
So I'm all in on Ghostmaker. So, I'm enjoying the storyline with him and the character, the artwork, and just the whole fact that you kind of got like a 181 thing kind of going on with the cameo and the first appearance. So maybe they're trying to tell us something if you're paying attention to what's going on with that character. I don't know. So I'm all in on the Ghostmaker. So I grabbed all of those 180, 181, whatever.
Just get them all.
Yeah, right.
Also, the last Ronin, I got in on that too. So yeah, I think they may do us like how you were saying with Hobgoblin. They might not tell us exactly who it is for a while, because I know everybody thinks they know who it is, but I actually with that syntax, how it was set up, I don't think that's who it is.
You think they're going to go without even telling us? Do you think they'll?
I think for a while.
Woo!
I think they're going to lead us on, because I mean,
You heard it here first.
Why drop it at the first issue? It's like
no, don't. Yeah, no.
Then what are we gonna keep reading it for?
Oh, totally. It is an amazing take. It's a fascinating take, and I'm excited to see where everybody's excited to see where it goes. Absolutely. So, anyways, it's an interesting top 10 list. All right, so Rick, what are your top 3 most interesting picks from this list? What do you got?
Yeah, I like everything I just heard. I sat on this one. I sat on this one before I picked my top 3 because there was so much interesting stuff to talk about. I talked about a couple of them last week that I'm not going to talk about this week, but this one, my number 3 pick was my runner-up last week, and that's Moon Knight #1. This book had a 102% increase in sales, $550 high sale for a CGC 9.8. It just keeps getting hotter and hotter. Yeah. But this is one of those books that is, it came out. It's a Bronze Age book. So when you look at this character already having his big book that's definitely getting out of the reach for a lot, this is another one to go to. I look at this book very similar to the Wolverine Limited Series #1. If you can't get your hands on Hulk 181 or Giant Size #1, this is going to be that book that I think even after all the hype. Now, you got to obviously take into consideration Oscar Isaac coming into this role and what that means for that and why people are really buying into this even more now. But look, this character has always had a cult following. Before we even knew who was playing this and we just got an announcement, this took off because people want this. They want it. Yep. So, look, I just trust in Feige. I think what we're going to see on screen for Moon Knight is going to be epic. Yeah. And this character is going to just blow. And you're going to start, being able to put his first appearance in the same category as the Wolverine first appearance and as Punisher first appearance for those Bronze Age books. So this is that good medium. I think that right now we talk about this a lot. When's a good time to jump on a book? Honestly, you missed out. You missed the good time to buy this book. But that doesn't mean that if you're willing to pay what the market is commanding right now, that it's going to be a bad investment, because I definitely don't see this book cooling off whatsoever. Yeah.
Glad I got it already. And well said, Chris.
You attach a guy like Oscar Isaac to this character, there's bigger plans for just a six episode series on Disney Plus.
Yep.
Definitely. Feige knows. He knows there is a cult following for a reason for this character. He is people equate him to being the Batman of the Marvel Universe. Yeah. Not so much, but there are similarities there, right? And they're just going to ride that wave, and I really think they have huge plans for Moon Knight here, especially the caliber of an Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
He speaks to the audience in a way that maybe other heroes don't. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So there's a certain audience for that kind of character.
Yeah. And what Chris was saying was that, even before the announcement of a Disney Plus series, his first appearance was already out of reach. Right? So this one, do one of you, serious, Eric or Steve, do you guys have Werewolf by Night 32?
I do, yeah. I got that before the D23 announcement.
Eric, you have 3 appearances. My God, you guys could have done any all-in you wanted, and it would have been fantastic.
Well, we didn't want to have an embarrassment of riches on the show.
Well, you already do. Anyways, I'm glad that's happened. But you guys, Eric, especially Eric, who has 3, you're gonna be very happy a year or 2 years from now.
Yeah. I'm I went hunting one day and I stumbled across the third appearance just when I was going through one of my spots, and I found Dracula, Tomb of Dracula #1, and then a little bit further behind it was the third appearance of Moon Knight, Werewolf by Night. Can't recall the actual number right now, but and it was the same day that they announced it.
No,
Oscar Isaac was playing.
no.
It's like the owner of the store, he doesn't even care about half the stuff. Yeah, so this is like one of my spots.
That's why
This is honey hole.
Yeah,
honey
this
hole.
is my honey hole. Yeah, so it's like I'm in there digging, and I know which covers I saw in case some news drops. So
See,
yeah.
the chat knows about Eric's honey hole.
So yeah, I grabbed that quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as far as him playing it, it's gonna be awesome, man. He got me with Ex Machina, that character that he played on X.
Oh, excellent.
Oh man, yeah.
That was my first introduction to Oscar Isaac. I don't think I knew anything he did.
Oh, man.
He was outstanding.
That shows the range that he's ready for Moon Knight.
By the way, Hood Rat Comics thinks he knows which one of your he knows your hunter.
Stay in San Diego, Hood Rat. Leave our place alone.
All right. Here we go. Keep it on track. We got Chris's second choice here from this top 10 list. What do you got, Chris?
All right, my number 2, man, I'm going with some Captain Marvel number 23. Now, obviously, there's speculation on this book. You know, first appearance of Namor's son and Thor's daughter. But what's really breaking down some numbers first. 115% increase in sales. A high raw for 23. You know, this book just being a new release and commanding over $20. It's decent. I don't think that'll hold, you know, at least for the short term. I think that'll fluctuate. But the thing that really interests me about this book, and you've seen, I mean, we saw 18 on the top 10 list for a couple weeks, Captain Marvel 18, with the first appearance of Carol's, half sister or whatnot. So what's going on for me of why I find this book so interesting is this, if you guys look, this is a character over the last 8 years in the comic books. I'm not talking about movies. I'll get into that in a second, but in the comic books has had so much negative backlash. And look, I'm not trying to point a finger at anyone that disagrees with me about this character or that has certain, maybe they don't like this character, whatever it is. But I'm going to tell you right now, we know where it started from when she took up the Captain Marvel mantle, and instead of wearing some skimpy clothes with body parts protruding, she was closed up in more of a military outfit, changed her name and cut her hair, right? That's when things started changing. I think the creative team didn't know what to do really with the character at that point. Went through so many different things, try to bring her in as well. We're going to do another Civil War and put her right up there with Tony Stark, and that's going to make her character popular again and all. But people push back against that, and then we get the movie, and we had the ugly backlash for the movie. But guess what? For those naysayers, $1 billion stamp on it. End of story. The point I'm trying to make is this. I don't have this book on my list because, it's a hot book and it's selling for $23 already and it just came out. I have it on my list because I really think that this is about these new characters that are being introduced and making the story relevant again, similar to what Donny Cates has been doing, So there's a balance there, though. Obviously, you got speculation because of the new characters and the new avenue that these characters are going in. But at the same time, I think the heart of this and the success of this long term is going to be in what's going on in these stories moving forward.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah, we talked about this. There's a lot of people. And it's an ugly part of this hobby is people that are just stuck. They want to be static. They want the same thing over and over and over again. And any little deviant from that, any new character or variation of a character or diversity or what have you, it's like the worst thing in the world. And we saw that happen with Captain Marvel, especially before the movie came out. Everybody was dogging it for no reason at all. Yeah. $1 billion later, that speaks to what was put on film, right? Yeah. And I don't understand. You got to move forward, right? You got to move forward and expand these characters, or people are just gonna, because the minority is the people that just want everything the same, but the majority
Mm-hmm.
of us want to see fresh new takes on everything else, right? And
Yeah.
we're seeing that, especially with DC and their future state coming out. That's some exciting stuff right there. What Marvel's been doing with their characters. We talk about this every week. This is exciting, and this is yet another issue here that's showing that, bringing some fresh new characters in that do have, that are attached to older characters as well.
Right.
Funny enough, I saw some music videos of Brie Larson, and it made me like her more. And then, she was in that movie. What was that, Scott Pilgrim or whatever it was, where she did the whole singing thing, and I was like blown away. Yeah. And so, I'm into it. And I've got the whole Bronze Age Captain Marvel run. I mean, the books you talk about, Chris, with the outfits, and I got them all. But yeah, you got to move forward. And fair warning on that cover, shout out to Universe X and Ultra Maximus, because they were talking about that cover. And I knew I should probably eat that, but I'm kind of trying to consolidate for my PC these days. And so it just, rather than buying 30 new comic books a week, I let that one sit on the shelf. But for all the reasons you mentioned, Jeff, man, you can't be the old man, get off my lawn. You got to move forward with these books. So.
Exactly it.
Yeah.
Well said. Perfectly said.
I actually did grab that cover, and I got it for cover price. I kind of knew what was going on because issue 22 also had, I think, Forge and Quanon's daughter from X-Men. So I mean, that was a new character. This is Namor's son. So issue 23, and then I think it's supposed to be Thor's granddaughter in either 22 or 23 also.
Yeah.
So I mean, I grabbed it for what it was. I mean, you
got it for $4, right? It's now. Right. I mean, it's now selling for $23, and it's their first appearances of characters that maybe, Hey, We Got Issues brings up a good point. Marvel has a cash cow with Blue Marvel, and they're doing absolutely nothing with it. It's a damn shame. I wouldn't be so sure about that, because
hold on to that.
From Lords of the Long Box, they're talking like Marvel has plans for Blue Marvel. Do you guys own Blue Marvel?
Yes, I'm all in on Blue Marvel.
I don't have that.
Yeah,
that's on my list. I read it. I think it's a great issue. It's really one of those things that this is a secret chapter of the Marvel universe, just like the Sentry, how they just kind of wow you. It's like, whoa, wow. So We Got Issues. Well said, and I really think that things are going to happen with the Blue Marvel. It'll just take a little bit of time. They're slowly integrating him in. So that's exciting stuff. All right, but speaking of exciting stuff, Chris has his final issue, his third issue that he finds most interesting from this top 10 list. What do you got, Chris?
What you got, Chris?
I mean, how can I not talk about that book right there?
Bam.
Look, man, 156 copies sold again this week. 135% increase in sales. The high raw is pushing above $50 now, man. I mean, look, and I think we talked about this last week, Jeff. I swear to you, there are people buying this book for $50 simply because they want to read it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, this isn't even about speculating in order to flip or make a profit or a return on your investment or something like that, or trying to go get it graded and slabbed at 9.8 and sell it off for more. People are really, look, we waited months. This got delayed month after month, and then we know that some of the print run didn't what's the word I'm looking for? Manifest, and didn't populate for consumers to get their hands on it. Short supply. People want to know what's going on in this book. People are wanting to read this. What is going on with these freaking Ninja Turtles that we all grew up with loving and so forth? So I really find this amazing that now here, let me give you guys an example. I pre-ordered mine, right? I pre-ordered mine. So I was fine. I had to wait because when you do the pre-orders, I have to wait till the end of the month. I think it came out at the end of the month, so I didn't have to wait much longer. But I know some folks were already reading it. I'm like, no. So I ordered it. I get it, and I'm reading it, and it's a square bound, and I'm like reading it like this.
Yeah.
You don't want to mess it up.
You know, I'm like, because I don't want to open it up. I don't want to crease that crease, right?
Yep.
And my son, who has been reading a ton of stuff, and I'm letting him read like my Batman books.
Nice.
I'm like, yeah, just put them back in the bag and be careful and all this stuff. And so, I got Marvel Unlimited, so we can do the
Yeah.
And he's like, I want to read that, and I'm like, yeah, okay. And
Let me get you the digital.
Yeah, and I'm like, right. I'm like, digital copy. I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let me go. And I'm going on eBay and I'm seeing, I think at that time it was like $20. And I'm like, I was really thinking about buying another copy just to have a copy to read.
Yeah.
But I finally actually found the digital on Amazon. It was the same price of the book, $8.99. But
Russian website, Amazon.
But yeah, I don't know. Just everything about this book right now is really exciting. I pre-ordered issue 2 and I bought 2 copies because I'm making sure that I got one for my son. He can do whatever he wants with it. So yeah, number one, man, I think this book has a really good possibility of still being on the list next week for sure.
It's hot. It's hard to get. I got rid of mine, and that was just really dumb. Collector. He had a copy in his hand, and he put it back, kind of kicking himself. I am too. There you go, Eric.
Yeah. I got a story about this book. My favorite story about this book is the fact that we had someone in the community in Canada named Neighbor to the North, and he's been a supporter of our channel. He even sent in an AOK, and for some reason, he missed out on this book, right? And so Azores and I go to the same LCS, so I texted him. I'm like, yo, Eric, you going tonight? Do they have an extra copy? Eric was able to find a copy of that. We were able to send it up north to our buddy in Canada, spreading that comic love. Just that guy he's giving us love. We wanted to give it back, and so he's stoked about that. And that's the beauty of this community, man, and building friends, just like us on your show, man. Now we're all buddies. Look at this.
We are so honored to have you guys on. This has been an absolute blast. This really has
to be here, man.
Yeah, it's been great. We're 4 Ninja Turtles right now. Look at us.
There you
go.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be Raphael, I'm sure.
Hey, real quick, Jeff, before we move on, I gotta ask you both a question. Are you guys familiar with Spiro's Heroes comics?
I'm not. No,
you got to scoop.
Yeah,
Spiro.
I would, I bring them up, and I'll make this quick story. My parents treated their grandkids. Of course, we got a free trip out of it too. But they treated us to a trip to Disneyland a few years ago, and I was watching this YouTuber that lived in the LA area visit this comic book shop called Spiro's Heroes, and it was this shop that was in the middle of like some random what do you call it, like industrial units, right, in this building with little units in it. And you go in and it's 4 separate rooms, and this guy had 4 rooms of endless boxes on top of boxes of books at 50 cents each. So I was like, when I found out I was going down to LA, I'm like, we're stopping in there, right? So we go down, we do the trip, the kids have fun at Disneyland, and I'm telling my parents, and we all drove in the same vehicle. So I'm like, we got to stop at the comic shop. I brought myself a long box. I had it all ready to go. So we're on our way home. We got like an 8-hour drive, and we stop, and I don't know the area. I know we went like through LA, back onto 5, and then we cut over, I don't know what highway, like a few miles, like north of LA.
Okay. Sounds like City of Industry if it was industrial.
Yeah, I forget, man. But I went in there. What's that?
Yeah.
Spiro's Heroes is a shop you went to.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
So I thought you were talking about some books. I'm double checking. I think I might have been there before.
Yeah. So I go in with this long box, and man, look, I was in there. I don't even know how long I was in my poor family, but I filled up this long box and I stuffed it. Like I stuffed the sides. I threw some like on top of the long box, put the lid on, and
shopping spree.
Oh man, I'm blanking on his name. Elliot, the owner, really cool, humble guy. He gave me that long box for $100.
Wow.
And then I went and found some Silver Age cap, and he gave me like 40% off of sticker price. And I think it ended up being like 19 cents a book for that whole long box. But I just
Damn.
wanted to bring that up because if that's anywhere close to you guys,
It
they
is.
recently moved locations, but they're still down in that area. Spiro's Heroes, definitely check them
We're
out.
going
guys.
tomorrow to clean it out, man. I'm gonna take 3 long boxes.
Swaggle House says Spears is great. I frequent every now and again. They moved to a new location. Really nice spot now.
Okay.
Nice.
That sounds amazing. Anyways, that was our top 10 hottest comic books of the week. This has been awesome. We're going to transition now to a Q&A. We got a lot of people in here, guys. I don't know if you have any questions or want to talk about anything else. I do have a question for Kid Collector. I don't know, Kid Collector, you gotta check out the Spine Ticks. Eric and Steve here,
Appreciate
you would love them. But Kid Collector is one of our regulars here. He said he was late because he was watching the first episode of Jack Ryan with his dad.
All right.
Did a new season drop? Does
Yeah, that's what I
anybody
want to know.
Because I like both of the. I think there was the two. I like both of those seasons.
Yeah,
They're-
we enjoyed it over here too.
yeah. So Kid Collector.
I think Kid Collector knows Joey Does Comics. They're both kids. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I've seen them
Kid
in
Collector
the
has
chats.
his own channel. You guys should check it
Yeah.
out. He's I think he's 14. He knows way more than I do right now. So
yeah.
he's definitely one worth watching. He's definitely a YouTube star on the rise.
He's
Y'all
gonna
gotta
have to
check
do
him
the
out.
age verification because Spine Ticks After Dark gets a little bit wild.
Oh,
We
man.
wildin'.
Yeah, I'm not sure where he is in the country, but he's probably not awake at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So
Catch the rewind.
yeah, absolutely.
He said Joey Does Comics is awesome. This is
Yeah,
There you
they
go.
know it. I knew. I seen them chat. Yeah.
okay. Nice.
Yeah, Kid Collector's all over, man. I wish I could be as good as Joe. You are good, man. Kid, you just keep being you. You'll be just. Oh, you're in Ohio? Okay, so
Keep going hard.
what's that?
Keep going hard. That's Joey's one of his catchphrases. He
Says I'm going freaking hard. You know,
Anyway.
I got to tell you, you got to watch Joey. He did a scoop video from school, and he like when the Null and Venom stuff was happening, and he was like bullying his dad. I got to buy Venom #3, and he filmed himself driving with his dad. He's like, I need the PayPal money now, and he's like, I don't know, 16 years old at school buying, making videos and buying Venom 3.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Hey, Candace, I hope I pronounced it right. Anyone else hear the latest?
Yes.
I
Oh,
don't
Jim
know.
Lee.
Yes, the Jim Lee news.
What happened?
They said he's leaving.
No, what? Actually,
Yeah.
that's really, especially what happened, like a month or two ago? That's not too
Mhm.
surprising.
Mhm.
However, holy cow, that's big news that we
They
did not
said
even.
he's supposedly leaving. And then they're only going to be making a handful of books. So I don't know what's going on with DC right now. After I just got on board all in with Ghostmaker, what are they doing?
DC flips out every 5 years, man. They got the ADD over there.
So
I love the new 52, man. That was great.
A lot of the stuff was good from the new 52, and he was a driving force.
Cosmic Book News is
Okay.
the only one that reported it, and then CBR, who I cannot stand, got their hands on it. So now it is said that against claims by Ethan Van Sciver, the publishing division will close its doors, and also that Jim Lee will be leaving the company. And look, here's my suggestion: is that I would take this with a grain of salt.
Yes.
Yeah.
What I would look at this as is there's probably something going on where something's shaken up and it's getting distorted because and look, I don't know if I'm right, Jeff. I know you and I talked about this though, but we talked about like everyone was freaking out about the thinning the workforce and in streamlining, talking about quality over quantity and so forth, and evolving into this new market. And I really don't see, and all it says is DC's closing their doors. I like that. That's
Crazy.
That's
Who's saying DC's closing their doors?
that's the Cosmic Book News, who I am not even
I
familiar
would say
with.
that's not. I don't know how reputable that is. And
Right.
let's be honest.
Right.
That's
I
crazy
think people are
talk.
taking this way too far. What's happening here is Future State is going to be the focus starting in 2021. They're going to put a pause on all of their other titles. Future State is what they're focusing on. Then they bring back the other titles in March.
Right.
So shutting the doors is ridiculous.
Right. Yeah. And now maybe this could actually mean too. This could be what I looked at this when I heard about the Future State is it could be part of their whole restructuring process, and they're kind of killing two birds with one stone. Where once they put everything on pause, they could take that time to refocus and rebuild, while at the same time marketing this something fresh to kind of as a test market to see how that works. Again, guys, I really see these all as it's a chess game right now. Look, and I know, and I don't want to get down into this rabbit hole, but if I could just speak on this briefly by saying, because I did a video on my channel this last week about why the comic book industry is not dying. I'm actually doing a poll right now. I have about 300 individuals that have participated so far. I'm hoping to get a lot more about that'll speak to the health of this industry. I just really, if you look at the past 10 years, this industry, even though the last 10 years there's been constant, for the most part, constant growth with digital sales, with print sales, even on the secondary market and the value of blue chip books, there has been constant increase. But there's been a lot of ebb and flow and a lot of mistakes being made too. And I think that we are in a point right now where the industry, DC and Marvel included, these publishers are looking at everything that's happened over these last years, and they're figuring out how to move into the future properly. And I'll end on saying this note. I think what's happening right now, or what's happened with the comic book industry, is when you look at Apple in the 80s, firing Steve Jobs and going through what they went through, is kind of like what the comic book industry went through in the 90s, right? And it took the comic book industry this long, but it was like bringing Steve Jobs back on. And what did he do? He minimized the workforce, and he minimized the product and said, we don't need to be the best in this, that, and that. We need to be the best in one thing. And look at what it did. And I really see the comic book industry going that way, because you have, we are at a pinnacle point in comic collecting where the old heads are, stuck in their ways. And then you have all this other stuff that's kind of growing and evolving. And Jim Lee spoke to that at Fandom when he talked about the comic book industry is no longer a, white middle class American industry. It's worldwide now. And I don't see this, dumpster fire of an ending being the case right now.
No, although Raider Bear brings up another. Raider Bear, where did you? Gosh, you guys are crushing this.
That's our homie right there, Raider Bear.
Yeah,
they're saying, we love Raider Bear. He's Mr. Australia, but he's a Raider. But they're saying DC writers and artists are moving over to Marvel next year. The writers and artists just continue to move across lines all the time. Who knows? I don't know. This is just crazy though.
Hey Jeff, what about what we brought? What was it last week? Disney.
What about
Disney?
What?
Disney acquiring
is going Thanos. No.
I don't remember.
Can you just imagine though if Disney bought?
Oh man, I'd love it.
Brothers in DC.
Yeah,
Batman and Spider-Man together. Oh,
I mean, there is that talk too. We've talked about this. The guys at Pressable Defects talk about this too. You need, and Chris, you bring this up a lot. You got to have the competition.
Yep, you do.
Like if Marvel cannibalizes their competition, things may get soft. Let's be honest. Things may get really soft.
Decadent.
Yeah. So, anyways, but Raider Bear is starting to drink right now. It's warm as hell.
Man, and I'm out. This has never happened before. I'm out of beer. This is
cheers,
my sad moment.
Cheers to that. We cheers you. Oh man. We have Steve Bradley here. Hello, gentlemen. Do you guys think we'll see a price bump on Iron Man 55? Do the first appearance of Eternals, Star Fox?
Love that book.
That is a good question. Do I have mine out here? I do. And then you have Drax in there as well.
Oh, Drax.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Blood Brothers.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So here's the deal. You also this may sound crazy, but you may see Thanos again in the MCU, whether it be a flashback or, I doubt they're going to go the route of comic books where they're going to bring people back to life, but we may see in some creative way to bring Tony Stark back. Steve, that's a good question. This will always be a key book.
Yeah.
Will there be a bump? I think there will be a bump. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is going to come out in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
You have the Eternals coming out, and who knows if Star Fox is going to be a part of that. But we shall see. What do you guys think?
Oh, Star Fox is a good character to have. If you've been keeping up with like the newer books, like that's actually how I got introduced to Donny Cates. Like Steve was saying, at our local LCS, I went in there and they gave me Thanos Wins, the hardcover. So this is as I just got back into the game, fell in love with that book. I was like, oh, wow. So all aboard for Thanos, all aboard for Cosmic Ghost Rider, all on board for Star Fox, because I went from there to the Guardians of the Galaxy story arc. And then, just keeping up with everything else. So the sky's the limit for the MCU, man. It's so many directions they can go. And like you all were saying, how we were, with the X-Men and the mutants and everything. When we had a choice in the beginning, I was like, you're either going to go cosmic or you're going to go with the mutants. Like how you were saying, you got Silver Surfer, Galactus, and everybody already. See, I was late to the party. So I went the mutants route. So all the ones you're naming, I'm getting all the
They're going to pop. They'll pop.
We know it's coming. We know Fantastic Four is coming.
Yeah.
We know the mutants are coming. But it's like, who's going to be first? Just like Iron Man, when he came out, Iron Man wasn't the top tier character, but he turned into that.
Yeah.
That's
a good point. That's that. Right? By the way, shout out to Comic Dude. You have a good night as well. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, Comic Dude. I love Star Fox in the Avengers in the 80s, man.
He was amazing.
Yeah.
That's just like the Hobgoblin. That was like the Avengers to us. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
When we started reading, these were the guys in the Avengers. We didn't know any different. We didn't know to go looking back issues and all that. For me, I can't speak for you guys, but he was big into the Avengers. But I think Eric, what you're saying is like Marvel has so much to choose from. That's true, but so does DC. But here's the deal: MCU paved the road the correct way. DCEU had some potholes already in there that they didn't cover up, right? Yeah. And we have not been allowed to give them the benefit of the doubt at this point. They have to be on point and perfect with everything that they produce going forward. Whereas Marvel has done it the right way. They took the time. And I personally think that DC thought, or Warner Brothers thought it was just going to be easy to create a universe.
Yeah. I will give props to DC animated.
Yeah, those are good.
The series are crazy.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. But unfortunately, that doesn't get out there as much as the films do, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's more. I would say that's candy for us comic book collectors and people in the hobby. Yeah. But they do. You're right. Nobody touches that. They are the kings in terms of the animated and how they adapt all of their properties that way. But
you're not taking a date to a cartoon.
Yeah. What's that?
I said you're not taking a date to a cartoon.
No, you're
nah. I'm taking my kids.
Right. That's well said. Well said.
I think I think it's really interesting when it comes to where we're at right now with the MCU and looking at certain books that say for Iron Man 55, for Thanos, but then you have all these other role players and whatnot surrounding these books, because we're at an interesting point where outside of anybody else being introduced into the MCU that's relevant to a book like Iron Man 55, another thing you need to look at is how are these books going to sit once a character's arc is completed, right? And that's where you take a book like Iron Man 55 and you could say ultimately there's two things that happen with that book. One, it's already a key book before the MCU. But then you get the MCU and you get this character introduced that's so big and just grew and grew and grew with each movie that adds to the demand on the book. And now we had our climax, and now, okay, we're going to move on to something else. Does that mean that people are going to want to stop by that book and it completely drops off? I haven't seen that yet. What I've seen is a steady threshold. And again, because it's already a Bronze Age key, you see that long-term climb regardless. So to who asked that? Steve, I think regardless if there's going to be any, extra demand on that book for any other minor characters that might come up in the MCU regardless, I still think this is a book that hit that threshold and is going to continue to climb, even if it's a, slow rate of return over the coming years and not anything crazy.
And I'd rather have that myself, man. That's what I want in my investments,
Definitely. Hey, going back to the Cosmic Ghost Rider, isn't he a herald of Galactus? Infinity Comics wants to know. Wants the Punisher, all true. Yep, absolutely, 100% true. That's why he's such an interesting and wacky character.
Yes.
Absolutely. Tony Trebetta, our good friend from EGS, how are you? He thinks Black Adam is going to be huge. Shazam 28 is going to go through the roof. I think Black Adam is going to be, and Chris, you were talking about on your previous show tonight. I think Black Adam is going to be awesome. I really do.
Rock behind it.
Yeah, I think he's gonna. I think they've had so much time in pre-production to make this a solid outing, and I really think this is. I really think it's gonna be huge. As for Shazam 28, I think that's out of my league. I'm pretty sure. How much is Shazam 28 going for these days? That's a pretty penny. I mean, that's obviously the Spine Chicks guys probably have 5 copies.
Let me just grab my 5 copies.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, you know what? I enjoyed your segment with Tony, by the way.
He was
shows
awesome.
back. Yeah, that was great. It was informative. So just shout out to Tony.
He's really got. I think he's on to something here, and I think he's just going to grow. And I'm excited to see that growth. And he didn't shy away from any of the questions we threw at him, and he was really open and honest. If y'all don't know, Tony owns a company, EGS. It's another grading company. It's actually they're 2 years old, so they're kind of new on the market. But they do an interesting take on it. They do customized labels. They're really transparent in their grading policy. You guys should all check them out. Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah. He was really awesome, and we have it on our channel. The interview with him is very open, and I'm sure he's open to any questions you may have. So
if I'm sitting here buying a One Touch, that's definitely a step up than just having a One Touch. So
totally,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. I got some numbers for that Shazam 28.
Real quick, Red Matos. My first time watching you guys. I find you guys very interesting. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to join and check out the Spine Ticks too. They got the link is below. Be sure to sub them up. Thank you so much, Red Matos. Really appreciate it. And Tony Trambata, he appreciates all. Yeah, absolutely, Tony. We are rooting for you. Sorry, Chris. What's that?
We got high grade raw sold last month for $375, but fair market value for 9.8, 2 G's.
Whoa!
No, that's not that bad actually. That's actually not a bad to jump on that. I mean, if you have the cash for that, jump on that now before this film comes out, because it's The Rock combined with a pretty cool character, right? That's a recipe for success.
Exactly.
So, so Infinity Comics asked some more about Cosmic Ghost Rider. Do you think there's not a lot of his own history, cosmic history, that they have a lot of room to grow him more than most characters? I would say he's on equal footing, but I think he's definitely a unique character. Like we were saying, like the fact that he's a future version of the Punisher. Right. He's a wax, like Frank Castle we know is just somber. And just dark. And Cosmic Ghost Rider, he's not. He turned the corner somewhere. Yeah.
You know what? Once I got my mind around it was Frank Castle, then I went all in and I got the 9/8 first appearance and all that sort of thing. And now, I'm enjoying the read. It took me a little bit, but now I'm all in.
Yeah, so that's actually one of my slabs over here too. I actually got the one with Thanos on the cover. So
the lenticular?
Yeah, no. The Ghost Rider I'm sorry, the
On the
Thanos
throne?
13.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but it was
Yeah,
a
I got
variant.
2 of those. Yeah, yeah.
It was a variant. So
Oh, right, that one. Yeah.
That's the hot one, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we got that one over here.
You guys.
But with the character though, you got to remember he was on Earth by himself and he went crazy.
Yeah.
So then that's when the whole, like, they say Deadpool style or whatever came into play. But man, the character is Punisher, is Ghost Rider, he's a herald, super cosmic.
Yep.
And it's been an awesome read, man. I've had fun with it. And now I'm looking forward to see what else they're gonna do with the character, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, that's another thing that I'd like to point out too. This is a character that has had.
Hold on.
Nice.
Let's see that again.
There it is.
Nice.
That is sweet.
That's
Yep.
sick.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a character that, you know, like, look, this is probably a character that is one of the last to say that's going to show up in the MCU, right? This version of either a Frank Castle or, but yet look at the popularity. Look at how hot this character has gotten since the beginning and still is.
Yeah.
And I think that's a testament to the fact that to those naysayers out there about the comic book industry right now. People aren't just sitting here speculating on books. You know, people are here into the characters, into the hobby, reading the books, and just really having fun with it, man.
I got the damn toy.
Yeah, right.
But it goes again what we're saying. That's a fresh take on a character.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That is just like out there and like it's a success, right? Sometimes a lot of the time these fresh takes or these new characters, they're not all going to be hits, but at least they're trying to do things differently again. Because I think the four of us all agree that that's what it takes to continue to move things forward in this hobby that we love.
It blew my mind when I found out it was Frank Castle, man.
Totally. I mean, it's literally one of those like, what? This makes no sense. What?
Right.
You know, like, what? So that was a really cool reveal. Like, absolutely. Yeah. And Donny Cates, he's just really Donny Cates is a really good writer. He's really good at what he does.
Yeah.
He's a hit maker. Yep.
He is.
Absolutely. All right. So it looks like these questions are winding down, which means our show will wind down. I really want to thank you guys. Steve and Eric, you guys, honestly, this was a fantastic show. You made it so much fun for us. Yeah. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate all you guys for joining us tonight. Again, there's so many other things you could be doing on a Friday night, and we really appreciate you guys take the time and just talking it up, talking comics, and the hobby that we all love. We'll be back again next week, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific. Like, subscribe, and share if you can. We'll be back. Chris, any final words?
Yeah, again, I want to say thank you to you both for joining. I just love having, great guests on here week after week. It just, like Jeff said, makes it more fun for everyone involved. To all the viewers, remember to check out the 3K contest videos. Make sure you're sub to my channel, to Comic Book Canon, sub up Spinetix. And lastly, I do want to let folks know, if you're not done for the night, if you're not going to go off and watch Mandalorian like Jeff and I, and you still got some time in your hand, check out A1 Comics. They right now have a live stream Instagram sale going on. It's a claim sale, plus they got a bid book, and they're giving away a Ghost Spider #1 9.8 sign. I forget who it's signed by, but A1 Comics on Instagram. Go check them out, guys, if you want to try to get your hands on some hot books. Other than that, man, I appreciate each and every one of you, and thank you for making this another amazing Friday night.
Absolutely. Eric, Steve, again, thank you. Spinetix, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. We'll see you guys again next week. Y'all stay safe and healthy. Have a good one.